quite a lengthy gospel today. And I think one of the heroes of this gospel is the fig tree. As we've returned to ordinary time, we've returned to the pattern of reading through consistently different parts of the Bible. During the Easter season, we read consistently through the Acts of the Apostles as our first reading. You probably got that throughout the Easter season. We've returned to ordinary time, and here we are having a large passage from Mark's Gospel. And it's quite a large passage, I think, because they could have broken it down into smaller sections. But it's the Gospel begins with Jesus feeling quite hungry, goes over to the fig tree, looks for some food, and it's not producing fruit. Perhaps, as we're told, because it wasn't in season. And Jesus, as Peter describes it later in the Gospel, sort of curses this tree and says that, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again." Then we have the story of Jesus going into the temple and reminding people that the temple is meant to be a house of prayer. And that's, I think, a great reminder for us all as well. That in the midst of everything, the primary purpose for why we exist is to pray. Then Jesus starts to teach. So we're also told about the importance of teaching. And then the gospel ends with Jesus passing by this fig tree again. And Peter sort of making comment about the fact that the fig tree has withered. And Jesus reminds them to have faith. And that faith can move and change everything. When we're feeling hungry, it can be difficult to pray. When we're feeling hungry, all things can become sort of complicated and difficult. And that can be for us, but it can also be for people who live in difficult situations, those who might live on the streets here in our own area, those who might live in the streets in other parts of our world as well. Hunger brings sometimes out unfortunate things in ourselves. Jesus is reminding us, when we're hungry, turn to prayer. When we're hungry, listen to the voice of God. And do what we can, hopefully, to help people to have food as well. So when we're hungry, have faith. I think that's part of what Jesus is saying. And all of our lives, I think, as the fig tree, as an image, we're called to produce fruit. And we produce that through faith, through prayer, through listening to Jesus, and through bringing food, the good food of Jesus Christ, to our world. May no one ever eat fruit from you again. Hopefully that phrase will never be said of us, that we will be continually producing fruit in abundance. Let's go into the world today and produce and bring this great fruit, the fruit of Jesus Christ, to our world.